requirements document. Okay, so when you look at the requirements document, right, at the top of that heading, there is one. So for example, what Herschel is showing, right? If you're like it's doing a test case for section 2.6.4, you will say it's a loan calculator is the module. If you're doing 263, it's a managed lender module.
Oh, okay.
It's as simple as that, so that you can relate it. Hey, where does this test case belong with what requirement? Okay.
Oh, I thought the loan calculator, it belongs to the dealer, but it doesn't go like that, right?
No,
Oh,
it's
okay.
the system module. What module or what functionality you're doing it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
In module is nothing but a grouping of all the requirements that are related to that functionality, right? So we had listed here approve, reject, credit application.
Right.
You can call it a approve, reject, or call it a credit application module, which has like a maybe 15 requirements goes with that.
Okay.
And each requirement will have multiple test cases, but module will remain same for all of them.
Okay.
Okay. Good.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right.
And two more.
Let's talk about the second one now.
Yeah.
What is the precondition, right?
Yeah.
So
precondition, I understand, because that is before you start your steps.
Perfect.
What are the conditions? What are present for you to do the test?
Right. So now that you know what condition needs to be present to do it, when you write the test case, you know what actually the expected outcome is, right? Then you look at it and just says, okay, if I had the precondition and I did this activity in the system as part of this test case, what should be the state of the system should be? That will become your post condition. So for example, right, when you said ability to search lender by lender name, right? So you put the precondition, and as expected results, if you have a lender present into that system and you are able to find that lender, right? The post condition is that you verified that lender exists in the system. That's it.
Oh, so it's a okay.
It's kind of what is the state of the system after I am done with executing this test case.
Oh, okay. That means the result, what you did.
Right. Result, but that how did it change the system? Right.
Okay.
That is the post condition. Now, most of the things what you're seeing it here are what we call it as a non-destructive operations in the system. So none of this is changing the data, right? When you do a loan calculator or managing a lender search, right? Or you talk about can access only, or the lender cannot modify application data, right? So those five, they are nothing but a read-only type of operation. So your post condition will be the same as precondition, right? Because nothing is you're changing in the system. Versus when you look at 266, 2.2 requirement, that says that, hey, when I execute that test case, right, potentially, let's say one of the tests scenario I was doing it is I was approving the credit application. So the post condition is you will say it's that credit application XYZ is now in approved state and an email has been sent to the dealer. That will be your post condition.
Okay. So if there is any change happening after the test you did.
Right, then you just identify that in this post condition.
Okay. Otherwise, you should not leave it blank. You have to write. Otherwise, if there is no change.
Yeah, typically, like it's how does people verify that, hey, you did successfully, and then that's what the state of the system. So it's again, right? It's a good to identify pre and post conditions so that you have a context of where does the test case fits in. Okay. What was your third question? I got to two. What is the third?
Dependency.
Third one is dependency. Dependency.
Okay. So dependency is in order to execute your test case, are you dependent on anything outside this system in which you are testing?
Oh,
So for example, right, there is no dependency when I'm doing a loan calculation,
okay.
right? But there is a
Mhm.
dependency when I'm approving or rejecting credit application because it has to send out an email.
Oh, then you are using
Then
the
you will
email
put the
server.
email as a dependent system, because if
Oh,
the email system is not up, do you think you're sending an email, it's going to be successful? Probably not, right? So that's your dependency.
oh, okay.
So think about it.
So,
Anything outside this particular system, you're
Mhm.
dependent in order for successful execution of test, then you just go ahead and put that as a dependency.
but to do everything, but anyhow, we are using the internet. You are depending on that. Without the internet, we can do it. So, can
But
we
that's,
write that or no?
you can, right? But that's an assumption, right? That
Okay.
if internet is not available, you can't even validate the precondition is true or not,
Oh, okay. Got
because
it.
you can't log in into the system, right?
Yes.
Now,
So
if you
there's
are
nothing you
testing
can verify.
mobile app, maybe you have some internet dependent test cases
Mhm.
and so forth. Here, I mean, it clearly says, I mean, it applies to the whole Arfloan application, right? If internet
Mhm.
is not available, then you cannot do anything. So,
I got so you see
So,
for example, let's go with 2.6.3 requirement 2.1 ability to search lender
okay.
by lender name. Okay, so for the expected results, could we just add a couple words to the beginning of this requirement, or does it have to like be a specific way? Like, could the expected result be lender was able to search, lender by lender name? Could we just do that, or do we gotta word it completely different from that?
It
It would
depends
be,
on
yeah.
what your data is, right? So it depends on your data and what test condition you're trying to do it, right? You may be trying to do a condition where, hey, you were trying to search a lender, but that lender doesn't exist in the system. So it was giving you empty results. Then it's a different thing.
Oh, okay.
Versus if you're like searching a lender which was present in the system and you're expecting specific return results, then you will list it out that.
Oh, okay.
So that's a good segue into the actual test case then, to see how you guys have written the actual test case, right? And that will give you guys more idea about how, what are the different steps and what should be the last step or verification step and so forth. That should clarify certain things for you guys.
Okay.
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 Thank
so,
you, Dilip. Thank you, Harshal.
Yeah, no worries there. So I guess we can start with the requirement. We can start with the 2.6.4. If anybody wants to, if anybody wrote the test case, like to present.
I can do it.
Okay.
Something to do.
Yeah.
I can do it.
Okay. So I'm gonna stop sharing. Okay, and I'll
Okay.
let you present.
So. Please let me know if everybody can see.
Yes,
my
we can
screen.
see your screen.
So I did it in the Google Doc.
No, that's okay. But
That's
go
okay.
ahead
That's
and
okay, right?
show,
Yeah.
go ahead and show the loan
Uh,
calculator one.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
sorry. Okay, let me scroll it down.
I think
Yeah,
this looks like it.
this is.
Okay.
I think this is the one. Yes.
All right.
So
Go back to your tree as well. Just to
I don't know
talk
how
about.
I did, but I want to present it. I did two sides.
Yeah, that's fine. But which test case you are doing? Just point out which
I
particular
did
test case.
number one, this one, and
Okay.
number two. I did two.
Okay.
Okay,
Let's
so
do
you have
number
two
one.
separate test cases.
Yes, I
Okay.
did two. two
Okay.
test cases.
Okay,
So
understand.
you want me to show you the first positive one or the negative one?
No, just go ahead and start sharing the number one, which is
Yeah,
positive one.
positive is fine. Yep.
So this is the one I did. I'm confused with the module name. If that is wrong, then I will fix it. Now I understand the stuff.
Sure.
So
Okay.
I will fix that. So since I did the first one, so test case is I put TC01.
Yep.
The title I gave loan payment calculation with valid loan amount greater than zero, greater than
Okay.
equal to zero. If anywhere, Harshal and Dilip, if I'm anywhere I'm wrong, please point it out so that next
No,
time when I
yeah.
do it, I'll check, okay, this was wrong. So I can try my best to do it.
Right. So you already understood, right, what we talked about, the precondition, we talked about the module name, right? So
Yes.
let's focus on steps. I think it's where you have, it's a good with the precondition and test title. Those are good.
Module name, I was
That's
confused,
okay.
so that's why
We'll fix
I will
it,
fix that. I'll
right?
fix
So
that.
that's fine. Let's talk through the test step.
Okay.
So the first
So-
step, when you say it's login as a dealer user,
So
right?
I did login as a dealer user. So result was a dealer user successfully logged in and directed to the home page.
Okay. So
Then
just one thing, when
okay.
you're writing a test case, right? So
Yes.
it is okay if you're like it's writing logically right now, login as a dealer user. What you should do it is when you write the detailed test cases, is explain them specifically how they're going to log in as dealer user, right? So just how what we said, go to the application URL defined there.
Okay.
Enter
So you
user
want me
ID
to
and a
go to
password.
detail like that? Okay.
Right. So enter user ID and a password, right? So then that's your step number one. Walk me through step number two.
So I will
Right.
do that so that I'm putting dots so that I'll know I'll fix that.
Okay.
So second point is navigate to loan calculator in the home page header. I don't know how to wording that. The loan calculator should be in the header page header portion, right? So I don't know I word it nicely or not. I don't know. You can guide me.
That's fine.
So this is fine. In terms of expected results, right? Let's talk a little bit about the wording of expected results, right?
Okay.
When you say loan calculator located, what does that mean?
Means you found the loan calculator in the home page.
Okay, so how that is different? What action you have done it there? So test step number two, right? Remember what I said. You have to do an action every time in order for system to generate some expected result, right? So in this case, when you say navigate to loan calculator, what exactly you have it in your mind?
At the time in my mind, the home page is there because dealer already logged in and everything. He is in the home page.
Right.
So he is going to look for the loan calculator to locate it. Where is it?
Right. But did they do any action in the system at that point?
No.
None.
No.
Right. So I would focus on steps only when I'm doing certain actions.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So you could have just said it like it's step number 2 and 3 combined, right? From the top of the home page, click on calculator tab. So now you are clearly articulating what action needs to be taken. And then step number 3, right? Where it says loan calculator page is displayed on the browser.
Oh, okay. Got
right?
it. Got
So
it.
every time you do anything in the test steps, make sure there is some action, because without that action, there is no interaction by system to give you a different result.
Okay. So I should combine 2 and 3.
Combine 2 and 3.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay.
Okay.
But do you understand reason why you should combine it?
Yes.
Okay.
Because there is no action, so why I have to write in sentence?
Right.
Okay. So 2, 3 is done. Let's go to the fourth one. I did the loan amount 3,000. So enter $3,000 in the loan amount box. I thought in the calculator there must be something like loan amount box should be there, and I have to fill it some amount on that.
Okay.
The expected result is loan amount entered for the calculation.
Okay. So think about it. Did you still take any action? You did the data entry. But did you do any action on
Oh.
the system?
No, so I should combine 4 and 5.
Precisely. Think of
Oh,
it every
okay.
time you do test steps, think about
Okay.
actions.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
I'll focus on that next time for sure.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, everybody writes differently, so don't worry. I mean, this thing will come with more practice, and as you work through more things, so it will come naturally. Okay. So
Okay.
first time, I mean, we see it as a logically, does it make sense to us? And it
Right.
sounds like you are on the right track.
Okay, thank you.
From the process point of view, right? You're getting it the right way of how you're going to navigate it, how you're going to enter the information, how you're going to perform an action, and what results you're going to expect it, right?
Okay. So we number 4. So I should take out that loan amount entered for the calculation. I don't need that.
Yeah.
So I should go for the calculation directly, right?
Right. So
should
now,
I show the calculation here or no?
yeah, you
That
can.
was-
You can, right? So the question is like, it's when you go from step 4 to step 6 you talked about, right? Isn't the validation or expected results that you see of $90 is the verification?
So calculation $90.
So what was your goal for the test case, right? Your goal was to validate, hey, if I enter something, do I get the correct result or not?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That was your goal. So you achieve your goal in step number 4. Right? So you don't really, do you really think you're gonna need additional steps? Because in your step number 4, you are entering, then you are clicking calculate, and then you have provided calculation of 3,000 multiplied by 3% is equal to 90. Now, what are you verifying there? Are you saying that perform the calculation, but
what are you doing in step 6? That's what the Herschel's point is. When you say verify monthly loan payment, isn't that what you're doing in expected results versus actual results?
Oh yeah, yes.
So do you need step 6? Right.
So step number 4, what you should have done is verify that whatever $90 is being displayed as a monthly payment, right?
Right.
And you can put the calculation in perfectly fine. You can put it there, or you can put it in the test summary. I've seen all different kind of things, which is
so calculation can go to the summary. It's better not to. Which one is the better choice?
I would probably just say it's okay, as Herschel pointed out. Either way, it's okay. You can put it in the expected results, or you can put it up in the test data. Right? That expected result should be 90.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a question.
Yes.
So where exactly did we find these numbers to calculate? I know it was in the design or requirement or test plan, but and also my next question is, how often do we refer back to those documents to create the test case?
So let me start answering from the second question first. You always refer back to those documents because those are the one that is telling you what is the requirement and what exactly you're testing. Okay? So it gives you a more and more understanding as you refine through it. Okay. Now, in terms of where did she got the numbers, right? So she knew it while looking at the design document that I have to enter a double number, like in this case, 3000.00, as part of the test scenario. So she just came up with that number and says, hey, I'm going to test with this. This becomes my test data. So you can define your own number like $1,000. That's okay. As long as you say it's, if I put 1,000 number, what would be the calculated monthly payment is going to be? Right?
Okay.
It won't be 90.
So and also like the 3% is going to be constant, right?
3% is constant, right? Because that's the requirement or formula that was given by business users.
Yeah.
Right? So you just applied whatever you enter as a value and step, you apply that formula to that number and see what should you be expecting.
Okay. So she found the 3% over in the design document too, right?
We clarify the requirement, right? So I think last Thursday you guys had a question, and we clarified with the business. hey, what is the actual calculation? Because without that, you can't do any testing, right? And we provided a 3% of the loan amount. That should be basically that should be enough to calculate monthly payment, and that's what she's
So,
using here. 3%
okay,
of
so
the
on
loan
the
amount.
okay, so on the tap step, she just randomly just put the 3,000. That's what she came up with. So if I was
Yeah.
to do, let's say let's say I put 1,500, that's also good too.
Yeah, anything. If you put $1, what it should be output? It should be 0.3, whatever, right? 0.03 or something.
Okay.
Because it's greater than 0, so you can put any value.
Right.
Okay, I got you.
Yep. So with that scenario in mind, right? That's the goal for test title that reflect what she is testing, right? And then the test steps is how she will perform this testing. Or how the test case should behave. That's what she's capturing here in the steps.
And Harshal, how to put it in the sentence like number 6?
Yeah, verify monthly loan payment displayed as $90, right? And you can put the calculation right there. You don't need really step number 6 and 7, in my opinion, because your goal was to calculate the loan calculator functionality, right?
Yeah.
That so was I should take out 6 and
7.
Yeah, and it's again, right? You can leave it 7 if you like it.
Yeah.
So do the clean. So every time if you're doing a repeatability, that helps, right?
Right.
But you don't need number 6.
Right.
6 is nothing but a redundant step from number 4.
Right.
Okay. And I thought like if it's login, it's supposed he's supposed
fine,
to log
right?
out.
So when you automate and redo it, this definitely helps with logging, log out.
Right.
So that's okay. What Harshal is saying is that's not necessary step because you already verified what you went about in step 4. So if you don't put step 7, that's okay. But it is, as you pointed out, it's a good practice to put it so that when you can make it repeatable.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
So then in the test data, I put the monthly payment like 3% of. Do you need that over there, or
if you're already putting it as part of expected results, you don't need it there. But again, it's having a redundant information doesn't hurt here because you're providing a clarity in terms of what is the formula, so which is okay.
Okay. So dependency, I think it will be none here.
Right.
Because
so we talked not, about right dependency and post condition. We talked about it. So
yeah. And summary, just whatever you did, you have to validate that. So I wrote that.
Right.
The test case validated successfully. And the negative side, I think the negative side, that is not much change. Only the expected result will change, and I'll enter the value. Like I did like 8,585 AB because it's a alphanumeric. So I combined numeric value with alphabets. So I did that, and I wrote for that case, I wrote an error message will display with, I don't know which one to put, invalid loan amount or enter correct loan amount. I just put both.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
which
mean,
one to
if
keep.
you do not have that information from the design document, then you can simply say error message will be displayed. And whatever error message is, that would be the right output. So, but if you put it that way, which is fine, but you don't put more than one because people will get confused as well. And this is a discussion point with the developer at this point and say, hey, what is the error message? You can put that in. You can always revise your test case once you have more clarity after talking to developers as well.
Okay. And those 1 to 6 steps, I will after discussing the first one, I will edit those things about my writing and all those, because now I understand it should be like a action command. So I'll change it.
Sure. So I think this is good. I think logically your steps are correct. As I said, I mean, you can always improve, right? And it will get more perfect as you go through. But logically, it sounds correct to me. Anybody has any question on this? Does everybody have?
Can I ask one question not about this? How you
Um,
know that your test steps are like perfect one? How to know that?
you
Is
will
there
never know.
any like?
You will never
Oh,
know. It's all
okay.
subjective, right? If you are writing and I'm writing, it's gonna be completely different.
Okay,
Okay,
got
because
it.
your English
Got
is different, my English is different, and you're gonna write differently. Plus,
Okay.
your thinking is different. Okay, important part is the thinking. So I might have 6 steps, maybe 7 steps. Who knows? And somebody will have 4 steps, but they focus on okay, basically whatever they write. As long as your end result is same, right? Because your functionality verification, that's the important part. You are inputting
Okay.
something, you are getting something out.
Okay, got
Okay.
it. Got it. Thank you. Thank
Go ahead, Rashmit. I think you have raised the hand, and then we will go
Okay.
with the Nitin
Yes.
afterwards.
Mhm. I have done this one with negative amount. So can I
Okay.
share my screen?
Yes, yes. If you can stop sharing,
Oh.
Sangamindra, Daisy, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead, Rashmita.
Okay.
Share your screen.
Mhm. Let me see which one.
Okay. While she's sharing, Nitin, do you have a question or you have something else?
Yes, I have actually, I did something on loan calculator. So I just wanted to make sure whatever I'm doing right or wrong. So
Yeah. Hold on,
the
sir. Hold on your thoughts. Then let's take a look at it. Okay.
Yep.
We will take a look at it.
Not this one. Or not this one.
Okay.
Oh, how to stop? Yeah.
Okay.
So here my precondition is loan amount calculator is also there, dealer. So do I need to write that loan amount calculator is there?
No, that's a requirement, right? So that's expected. Without that, you can't even do anything. So
I
that's
don't-
the functionality of testing. So I would just probably the only thing which I would do it similar to what Daisy was talking about, right?
Mhm.
Your dealer exists in the system and you have its valid credentials. That's all.
Yeah. Then yeah, this is my test summary. Validate the loan calculator work with the invalid numeric amount that is less than equal to 0.
Okay.
So here is my test steps. So this is going to home
Okay.
page and login as a dealer.
Mhm.
Okay, then access loan calculator.
So same comment as what I've told Daisy, step number 3 and 4,
Yeah.
right?
So
Their actions. Step number 2, that what you have identified is the actual activity that you're performing in step 3 and 4
So you can combine actually 2, 3, and 4
into
because
one.
that is their login activity, right? So
yes.
in every step needs to have expected result otherwise.
Right. So think about it, what Harshal just pointed out, right? You have 6 steps, but only 3 expected results.
Okay.
So
Got it.
test steps and expected results should be 1-to-1.
Okay.
And then actually even actual results, when you start executing it, should also be 1-to-1 from expected results to actual results.
Okay. Got it. So here I put negative amount like 1,000.
So the only thing is that you may have to do the proper wording around number 5, which is accessing loan calculator. You have to tell it how, right?
Okay. Got it. Got it.
Okay.
Logically, it's correct, but
yeah. Only thing is on step 6, I would do a little bit different. Instead of giving an example, you just say input minus 1,000 as the number, right? Don't give here is everything that you can do it, right? Tell your executioner exactly what you want to enter them.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
Got it.
Now, again, you got the number 3. It's probably mapped to number 6 on expected results versus test step, right? Now, again, it depends on what the error message is, right? So that's something that you can do. An error message is kind of displayed, right? Or it may or may not say is that enter a valid positive number, right? So it's up to you, but you got the concept correct of this is what it will happen.
Yeah, unless the business user didn't provide any information about what will I get after the error message if I got.
Yeah.
So I can write only that
It gives error message.
display. Yeah, error. Yeah, got it. Got it.
Okay.
So.
All right. Yeah. Otherwise, I
Now,
mean,
now just one observation, right?
Mhm.
Is the credential you provided are of the dealer?
This one?
Yeah. Those are system admin, right?
yeah.
Make sure you be consistent, right? So your data should match
Mhm.
what you're expecting it in your steps.
Okay. Okay.
Because you are
Got it.
saying a dealer is logging in, right? So you should provide
Mhm.
dealer credential in the test
Mhm.
data.
Yeah, but this one I took that page before that in that book in
Yes,
that
but
folder.
right,
Yeah.
right. But it is system admin credential. What you have is
But I should give the dealer user ID.
dealer
password.
user ID
Yeah.
and password. Yep, yep.
Yes, got it. Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can stop sharing. Go ahead. Who was that? Nil or Nitin?
Nitin,
Yes, yes, Nitin.
yeah, can I share my screen?
Yes, go ahead and share it.
Okay.
Now, I'm hoping everybody is getting the idea, though, because we
Are you able to see?
Yeah.
not yet, Nitin.
Not yet.
Go ahead and share it. I don't think you have clicked on share yet.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, it's coming up.
Yep. Okay, so I did little bit things, not too much. So I
Sure.
just write it down like precondition, dealer user and super user login ID that we need,
Okay.
right? And this is my first actually the scenario,
Okay.
and that is the test tab,
All right.
and this is accept expected result.
Okay.
So the like in first one, I have two the basically test tab.
Now, what you need to think a little bit. I think you are missing one step here, right? Because you need to be on the loan calculator. Because in the home page, there is nothing. The user cannot do anything, right? And if you look at the page flow diagram, if you refer back to the design document, so there is additional step that is that user will take for the load calculator functionality. So you're missing one step from there.
Okay, so can I add right now?
Yeah. You don't need to add right now, but I'm just saying, how do you get on the load calculator page? You are missing that particular step over there. So right above the loan cap before you do enter anything, right? You need to be on the page, calculator page, then only you can do it, right? That activity. So
Yes.
it needs to be sequential.
Right, sir.
Okay.
And can I like read or anybody can see like?
No, we can see it. So here again, you haven't put any specific amount. I would strongly encourage you to put the actual amount.
Okay.
That you think, just like other two people had it, right? Actual amount. What is that you are inputting, so that you can compare with what is coming out of the system at the end once the calculation is performed.
Perfect.
Yep. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, you are using different template, which is perfectly fine. I mean, just adding a little bit more detail.
I'm just using Excel. So
right, which is fine.
Okay.
Yep.
So
okay. But logically, I mean, yeah, it makes sense to me.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
So I'm just doing in a right way. So I just wanted to make sure that that particular thing, whatever I'm
Right.
like trying to use, like this is perfectly fine with like
Yes,
professional.
yes. No, that's perfectly fine. The only thing I would say is, yeah, when you say invalid input in the loan amount field, you need to be very specific, because I see that you lump sum all the steps together. Typically, you have separate test case. What do you mean by invalid input? Are you inputting negative amount, alphanumeric amount? So those needs to be its own test case.
Okay. So I try to write few things like alphanumeric, like basically I figured all those particular. I'm not sure I'm doing right or.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So
Nitin,
yeah, go ahead.
the way I would say is, did you guys apply a simple test that I talked to? Did you give your test case to one of the other member in the class and say, can you execute this? Do you understand? Do you have all the information to do your work? And if the answer is yes, you have the details. If the answer is no, you have some more work to do it.
Right. Okay. Okay.
All right. So
Right, sir.
yeah, so I think logically it sounds correct. Just split up those negative test cases into its own test cases, and you should be good. Okay.
Right, sir.
Yeah. All right, you can stop sharing. I think for sake of time, let's move on to the little bit more involved test case. So Nitin, if you can stop sharing.
Can we move to another requirement? I think
Yes.
it's everybody
Yes.
got the understanding of loan calculator, right?
Yep. Yep.
How it works. So let's go to additional requirements. Has anybody did the lender approving rejection?
Yes, I did.
I did.
Okay. Anybody wants to share?
Yeah, I want to share.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Sadhana.
I have also done, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead. Let me stop sharing.
Are you able to see that?
Yes.
I have same question like a Daisy did. So something is not like a perfect, but I tried.
Let's walk through it.
Okay.
So tell us what test case, what test scenarios you're running through it.
Is a lender cannot change the status of credit application, like approve. I just select the approve.
Okay. So it's the scenario where if it's already approved, I can't change anything.
Yes, that's
okay.
So the precondition is like, I put the module name is okay, like a status change or yeah.
No, it's a module name
Okay.
should be what we talked about, right?
Oh, okay. So the precondition lender user exit in a system with the user ID and password specified in the data section. That's right.
Is that sufficient?
For me, it's yeah.
So look at your test scenario that you're trying to do it. Do you have a application ID? And do you know in what state it exists?
Yeah, that's I put it here in a.
No, those are user ID. I'm not talking user ID.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
What is your scenario? Your scenario is you cannot change anything for the credit application. Do you have a credit application?
Okay.
Right? So think of it, you need a credit application and in what state it needs to be.
Pending state.
Is that what she's trying to do it?
No, I have done for reject
No.
actually, so that was different. Yeah.
Okay.
Remember, what is you're trying to test?
Mhm.
If application is already approved, you can change it, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So what should be the status of credit application? Should be approved, right?
Approved. Yeah.
Because if it's not approved, you can't execute this test case,
Yeah.
right? Because none of the step is going to follow it. Because
Mhm.
everything is based on that credit application already in the approved state.
Mhm.
So you need an additional precondition, right?
Okay.
I mean, how does it get to the approved state? I mean, even if you put it in precondition, it's fine. But what will make it approved?
There is a credit application exist in the system. Can we do the precondition like that?
You can do it, but
Yeah.
again, when somebody is executing it, right? They need to understand what does it mean. So you can always put it in the precondition. That's not
Can we
very
say like, the credit application is approved by lender and then can change anything for precondition?
So let's not put the precondition here, right?
So
if
then
you
we
don't have,
can create the application.
okay, and how do you create it? And who creates it?
Dealer credit.
Dealer.
Right. So let's say you have to add those steps here before, then how this would change your scenario.
Can I share mine? I did like that, create the credit application. Then I gave a ID to like, I put some numbers.
Okay, Daisy, hold on a second. We'll come back to that, your test case if nobody else has it.
Okay.
Okay. Yep.
Got it.
So assume there is no precondition here for credit application part.
Then how would you go about doing it?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have to put the precondition as like approved.
No, so what
Yes.
now what Harshal's question is,
Mhm.
just based on the precondition you have put it, if that was the only preconditions, then how would you go about executing or doing steps for this test case?
Okay.
We have to write test steps, more test steps, like a
What-
dealer will create a application,
Right, so you have to actually write the steps to actually
Yes.
create credit application,
create credit, exactly.
but then how are you going to make sure that it's an approved state?
That will be the long process, I think. Mm,
Well, remember you are getting paid for this work, right? When you actually go to work,
Create,
it
so
takes you
create,
2 hours.
create application, it will go to lender, then the lender will approve.
Mhm.
So, and then email will go to the dealer saying that.
Right, so
Is
you
it-
have to wear a different hat, right? Can lender create a credit application? No,
No,
Right.
no, dealer.
so first you have to log in as a dealer, create
Okay.
application, then log out, log in
Then-
as a lender, approve it, log out,
The deal, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then validate it at the dealer that it is an approved state, then log in with a lender, right?
Yeah, whole process, yeah.
But the credit application should assign to the lender, then he can access it.
Well, how does it get assigned to a lender?
After it create dealer login, then create, then dealer is going to assign
Right,
the
so it's,
application to the lender.
okay, can I submit an application before assigning it to dealer, to a lender?
No, we have to assign, then submit.
Right, so it is part of the creation process, right?
Yeah.
Because Sapna, the way you have done it, right?
Mhm.
So I'm thinking logically, right? Your test step is 1, 2, 3. The third one is clicking on lender user
Okay.
credit application. Well, how did I find it? right? What credit application? What is the ID, right? Because I may have 50 in the system,
Okay.
but I need to make sure the one that I'm looking for it is the one that I'm checking on it,
Okay.
right? So you need to do all of that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So anybody wrote a little bit differently? I know Daisy, you have it, but anybody else wants to share?
I did the reject, I mean, this led the
We
status
saw
change.
yours as well.
Yeah.
So hang on a second. Anybody else?
Can I share mine?
Yes, go ahead, Pankaj.
So I did for the credit application, which is in a pending state.
Can you? We don't see it here.
Okay, okay, yeah, just.
Okay, so lender approves credit. This is approval scenario. You have it. Okay. And what are your steps here? Okay.
So first the lender.
Is this the same one or this is a different one? No, this is approve or reject, right? Is it the one we are talking about, Dilip?
I think this is the other one.
Yeah, this is a different one, right?
Mhm.
This is a
Yes.
different test
Yeah.
case.
Test case. So we are talking about different requirement.
Cannot modify. Yeah, yeah. I have.
Yes. So that is a requirement. So if you have test case written for that, we can discuss. Or anybody else, I mean. Elsa, Sasmita, anybody? Nitin, Bansi, Archana?
Lender cannot modify application.
I think Archana, you sent me, but if you can share it, let's see. Okay.
We are doing the changing status, right? Approve or reject credit application by changing status.
Is that the test case? Is that the requirement we are testing?
I think.
Or cannot modify data, or what was the requirement?
It's the credit application status. If it's pending, we can't. If it is pending, we can either we can approve or reject.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the one.
So that's the requirement, right? Okay, got it. So Pankaja, you might have the similar one, right? But let's see what Archana has it, and we'll come back to you.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So go ahead, Archana. If you can expand your screen, maybe that might make it easier. Yep. And see what you have. We cannot hear you. That's the only thing. If you are speaking.
It's okay now?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Now
it's better.
Okay.
So walk us through the steps.
Yeah.
Okay, so I first said in the browser you sign in.
Mm-hmm.
and then click on the application tab to access list of applications.
Okay, so once I log in as a lender, right? That's what the user ID step number 2 is, right? So you are saying that there will be an application tab. That's where I will go. It's great. So all of the applications are assigned to that specific lender. Is displayed. Now, when you go to the step number 4, click on the first application that is a pending status. How do I know what application is in the pending status? Because think of it, you have to make it repeatable, right?
Yeah.
So if I don't tell exactly what application ID I need to access, which is in the pending state, can I repeat it?
We can say like click on the application.
What if there is no pending application for this dealer? Did you put that as a precondition?
Let me see. I actually did not put anything for the precondition other than just
Right. So how do you know there is an application assigned to this lender which is in the pending state?
okay, so we have to make.
So let's say if I give this to Daisy, do you think Daisy can figure it out which application she needs to test it?
No.
Right. So you need to be a much more precise to do that. So scroll back down to the steps. Right. So that's our problem with step number 4.
Okay.
Right. So you need to be a little bit more prescriptive. Now, once you do that, say you provided specific application ID when it was in the pending status, it displays. Then you're saying is go ahead and click a drop down on the status. Okay.
Right.
Then you're saying that the option will be done. Okay. So step number 6 that you do it. Why are you asking lender? Is that they're expected that it's going to ask a lender to say, do you really want to approve it? So step number 6, did you see that in the requirement? Where did you get that information?
I actually followed that the application is in the pending status and you need to approve.
I understand, right? But if I'm a user, on your step number 6, I already select approved, right? Why do I need step number 7 then?
So it's like, is that your final answer, right? Type of thing. So, I mean, you have the step, but it's based on the design. So you need to have a discussion with the developers, okay, for outcome or expected result.
Okay.
That's what being presented to the user? We don't know yet, right?
Right.
Like, are you sure you want to approve this application? That's the thing we are talking about.
Right.
Right. I think, yeah, that's an assumption that you made, but you can discuss with the basically developers and clarify that to see what's the actual design will look like at that point. Okay. So it's step numbers where you expected result will change based on that.
Right.
Okay. Right. So logically it's correct, I think, but here, right, step between step number 4, I think step number 4, how do you get that application? That's you guys need to think it through. So you might want to add the steps before for the creation as well. Okay. And so that will make it test case more complete.
So
Logically, you guys are thinking in the right direction. Okay, I mean, you all are, but just that you need to think a little bit further on how do I get the application, what application I would see, and which application I'm supposed to approve. That part is missing. Okay, from this one.
okay.
So, all right, you can stop sharing, Acha.
Thank you.
Daisy, let's go ahead and share your screen. Let's see what you have. Since you mentioned you had other steps as well, so let's see what you got.
Let's see. Can you see?
Yes, Daisy.
So,
Can you
I know
explain your scenario in the title? What are you testing?
lender user can only approve credit application by changing the status.
Okay. Okay, so this is not pertinent to the reject. You are testing strictly the what is approval scenario only.
Yes,
Okay.
I did the approve one. I didn't do the reject one.
Okay. Okay.
So my precondition, I did lender. I put the lender name like L1 and just dealer D1.
Right.
I don't know. I should do that or no. I have no idea. But
So which is fine. So Daisy, when you say credit application exists in the system and it's an approved stage,
oh,
what is the reference? Is it an approved or it's an appending?
no. What I did, I was question mark over there, and when we were discussing, so I put the note for me that okay, I was confused over there because I was thinking, what should I put for the credit application? In what stage? It's supposed to be in some stage, then we can come to the approve. So I was.
So go back to your tree. Go back to your tree.
Okay. Okay. It's over
Does that one tell you what state it should be in?
Approved means
if it's approved, can you do anything?
Yeah,
you can't do
it's
anything.
already done. It's already done.
Right. So should it be an approved stage or it should be in the pending state?
I think I see your steps, Dilip. Looks like C doesn't need that precondition.
Right. I'm still trying to figure it out, Harshal. Which one of the scenario we are doing it? Are you doing it pending, which is then two possible scenarios, approve and reject?
Right.
Or are you doing number 2 or you're doing number 3?
So
which one you're doing?
We have done I'm doing the number 2.
All right. So let's go. Let's do that. If you're in number 2, that's clarity now. Okay.
Because I wrote it here, approved credit application. So I'm not doing the pending one here.
No, but your title doesn't reflect that you're doing number 2.
Yeah, she's doing pending to approve. That's what she's doing based on the steps.
Right. So you should not be able to approve a credit application which is already in the approved status. Right. Think of it. That title should be able to clearly tell a reader what exactly this scenario you want us to test it.
Got it. Yeah. Yes, I got it. It's completely. It's showing that I'm doing different one.
Right.
Yeah, I got it. Okay. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. So look at your steps here. Okay, I'm trying to see your steps. So you have more details in the steps here. You're logging in as a dealer. Then you are creating the actual credit application, and the 246 is the application ID or application number that you are thinking.
Oh no, it's ID. I'm sorry.
It's ID. Okay.
Okay. So the question is, are you able to create application with specific ID, or how does ID get assigned to credit application?
No, I'm sorry. It's application number. How can we ID?
Whatever it is, right?
Whatever it is, right? So you need to understand it. Are you assigning that number, or is system generating that number?
System is doing it.
System.
Right. So if the system is doing that, you cannot guarantee it's always going to be 246.
Yes.
Right? So it just says create a credit application, provide all of the data for credit application, because you can't just create it only with the ID. Right? So when I look at your test data section, there's no data for creating credit application. Right? So if I have to take this thing and try to do the step-by-step instructions, I'll get lost right into the second step. You want me to create credit application with what? Right?
So I have to mention all the application.
Yes, first name, last name,
details.
social security, all of the data that requires to create credit application.
Okay.
Now, once you do that, right, system is going to generate number, and that's what you need to write it down as part of expected results. Is write it down whatever the number system told you that it generated for credit application, which is good. Now,
okay, got it.
Again, I'm still confused about what is the scenario you're using it, because when I look at the number, step number 6 and number 7, you are actually telling me that I can change the status to approve. That means it's not the scenario number 2 that you're telling me that you're testing. You're testing scenario number 1,
right?
Whether you're trying to do an approval. Right?
Oh, got
so make it sure you're very clear which scenario you're testing it, and does your step matches to that scenario.
Yes.
Your precondition needs to match that scenario.
Perfect.
Okay. So your concept is right, but your steps doesn't match your scenario.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah,
More
I'll fix
detail
it.
is
I'll
always
fix it.
good. I think you can revise a little bit. I mean, you have more steps, which is good. You just need to refine it, and that's all.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll do that.
Yep.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you for clarifying it. Now I'm getting it.
Okay.
So can I stop sharing?
Yes. Go ahead. Stop sharing. Anyone else? Somebody else had a hand raised, I think, earlier.
Yeah, I have one, but yeah, with some problem now I understand. But
Okay.
I would like to share. Yeah.
Do we want to move it to a different requirements now that you understand this too? Want to do the third one? And Gita, you want to share probably your third one with a different requirement?
This one I was thinking to do the reject application, or else yeah, we can go to anything else.
Let's do the third requirement.
Yeah. I just want to make sure you guys understand the concept, what we are talking here, right?
Actually, I just did one thing, right or wrong, I don't know. That was
now based on the
sharing.
discussion we had, right? Here, you probably want to revise a little bit.
Yeah, I just did the credit application exist in the system as precondition. Is it right or wrong? I mean,
no, it is right, but I think when you are starting out, right, I would suggest you, because somebody has to do those steps, right? Whether you are doing it, if you are a QA, you will have to go create the credit application. And then you are looking at your own instruction, and then you will say, oh, does it make sense or it doesn't make sense? When you are actually executing. I think you should write the detailed steps.
Yeah.
Specifically for certain scenarios only. Okay, like for dealer account exists. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to go and create a dealer account for every scenario, right? Every test case. So you put it in precondition for that.
Yeah, and
but for this type of scenario, you probably should create a credit application as a dealer. And then assign to a specific dealer, then log back in as that dealer and see if you are able to approve that credit application or not.
Yeah.
That's the logical flow here.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. All right. So I'm hoping everybody's getting some idea, and you can revise a specific test case that you have based on the discussion we had here. And we'll spend a little bit more time as well, okay, on Saturday. Let's come back here.
I'd like to see it if somebody has created the dealer, I mean, the user creation. So go Herschel one about 2.6.
2.6, yep.
Right. I would like somebody to share their test case about creating a dealer user or RFREP user. Go ahead, Pankaj.
Yep, go ahead and share it. Yeah, others, I mean, feel free to, I mean, share, okay? I mean, this is our time to review as well. Plus, we'll spend some time on Saturday as well, okay?
Yeah, I don't know, Montessor, if you ever written anything, either Ramya or Judy, Alicia, any one of you who has written it, I would strongly encourage, feel free to share it. Even if it's, you feel it's not perfect, that's okay. So you get at least the feedback, what changes you need to make it.
So I created the Arfloan.
So Arshil, if you can stop,
Oh, sorry.
Pankaj, would you can share it?
Yep.
Okay. So what is the scenario? You're saying it's a valid positive scenario where I'm successfully able to create RFREP user?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can see my screen, right?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. The precondition is area manager has to be existent in the system.
Mm-hmm.
Creating the Arfloan user, he does not exist in the system. Condition.
Okay.
And this is the test summary.
Okay.
And the steps.
All right.
First, I go to the home page of Arfloan homepage. There, I will log in as the area manager. Then I click on the create user button.
Okay.
Right. So the expected results for step number 3, are you going to go to the application page or are you going to go to a create user page?
Create user page.
Right.
Yeah.
So
all the requirements.
Right. So reflect that, right? So the browser will display create user page with all of the information for user to fill in.
Okay. So not,
it's not an application page, right? It's the page which has displayed the create user function or form.
Okay, got it. Then the requirement field, like
can you show me the data section? Okay. Here, so you are assuming it by just providing a user ID and a password. So if you scroll up for me, right?
Yeah.
Now, you're asking a whole bunch of things, right? Select the type of user, first name. What exactly I'm entering those? You haven't provided anything. The other aspect you need to think about it is, am I providing a username when I'm creating a user? Right? You have to look what are the other requirements are present, and based on that, are you writing the correct step here? Right. So one of the system requirements is the username will user ID will get automatically generated, right? I'm not providing it. All I'm providing is the first name and last name, right? And based on that, it is using a logic to create the user ID.
Okay.
Right. Now, another aspect is look at what is your password. Does your password follow the rules that was specified? right? Password is 8 characters, 1 uppercase, 1 special case, right? So your data does not match what is expected information in order to create the user successfully.
Okay.
So that's another part that you need to think about it is whenever you're writing the step. Is this step matches with the other requirements identified in the system? And does my data represent the actual correct data that I need to use?
Mhm. Okay, got it.
Okay.
Mhm.
So area manager, so you need to provide the required fields and so forth. I think that's what is missing in step number 4, right? As Dilip mentioned.
Mhm.
And click submit. I think that's fine. And user created successfully. So your verification, I mean, again, going back to the other things, right? You can log out, I mean, and log in. So that's your verification step. Is that what you are doing in 5 and 6?
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, right?
Okay,
Yes.
5, 6, and 7. Okay, so you are actually trying to log in as that RFREP user.
Right.
And okay, gotcha.
So the
Okay, how do
other,
I know it's created successfully, right? Yeah. Okay.
right. So one thing, Pankaja, you need to think about it is everything that you specified in 4, are all those required field or you missed any?
Because there are several fields there, right? If you look
Right.
at the data section for the users,
Yeah.
I think there are
Right.
probably 10 required fields.
Right. And if you go back to the original thing that I was talking about, right? The username is generated by the system, not by you, right? So when you put that also, it's part of step 4, the expected results, you should know what user ID is created, right? You need to note it down because that's what you're going to use it in your step number 7 to log in. Okay. Otherwise, logically, you are in the right direction.
Yeah.
Okay. You just need to flush out the detail
After step
to the point, right?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Yep, because in order to log in, right, you need to know what is my username if it's getting generated. And that's how the other requirements are. So step number 4, you should take out the username entry and put it in the note down username. You can put it as simple as, hey, step number 4, user is created successfully. And here is the output that is being generated, or note down username that is being generated. And step number 7, you can refer back to that whatever username that is generated to log in to the system.
Now let's go back down a little bit further. What is your post condition? Right. So now post condition should be the RFREP users also exist in the system, right? So not only area manager created, but it exists in the system and can successfully log in. That's
Right,
the
with
post
that
condition.
username password. Yep. That's correct. So you have the right condition. It's just you need to add additional things over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I got it.
All right. Okay.
Has anybody written a negative test case for this one?
Right. You wrote it, Pankaja, or I just saw your raise hand and raise, I guess.
I think she was the one who was sharing, so she has to probably raise down. Yeah.
All right.
So I would like to see it from somebody who has not shared so far.
Right.
If you might.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, so you wrote it in hand.
Yes.
Okay. All right, then you gotta. I think you need to read it then. What you wrote. So.
This one.
So tell me what's your test case about?
Hang on. What I would like it is if you have you written the negative test case for the requirement, we were just kind of reviewing it. Because this one is your credit application approval rejection is what you've written it.
This is a email. Okay, what are we? Okay.
So what is the test case? Go scroll it. Show me the
Sorry.
Title. Yeah, title. Let's see the title. See what you have.
That's the Lorenda one.
So this is approve rejection,
Right.
right? So that's not requirement. I'd
Yep.
like to see it when you have the other one, which is negative test case.
For the same requirement that we are discussing just now.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, this one we already discussed, right? So I think you probably got the idea for the one that
Yeah.
we have. Loan calculator we discussed as well. Yeah,
Okay,
this is the one. Okay.
Yeah.
With the required optional. Okay.
Okay. Let's go. So is
Hold
this
on.
positive test case successful or it's a failure?
This one is the user ID is the area manager is getting the dealer user with the requirement optional.
Okay. All right. Let's see what you have in the steps.
So pull up, open the browser and enter the URL provided.
Okay.
And then after that, you log in
right
into the area manager account using the criteria provided, like
Yep, I can see it, the login steps, first and second one, but the third one, right?
the third one is enter the dealer user ID and the password, and then you click on create button.
So so you don't have any other information that is required. I don't see that anything else you are entering during creation of the user. Remember, you need to refer back to the design. What are the required fields for a user? You need to enter all the information, and then whatever action you are taking, you need to follow that afterwards. So not just
So
user ID and password. So in the design document, right, you have all the data elements
yes.
for the user. So you have entered only 2 here. But I think you need to use all the data elements, at least bare minimum required, so that you can create successfully, right?
Yes.
Now, if you don't provide required, you should get something, some error message or something. System shouldn't let you create it without required fields. Right? So I think you need to elaborate a little bit more on the step number 3. Okay. It's not just a user ID password.
Right. It's still positive case though. Right. So what would you change it if you're trying to do a negative test case?
Well, I think this could be a negative, right? Because he's entering only user ID password.
Right. But then what would be my expected result?
Yeah, what would be my expected result? Well, I just mentioned, right, a few minutes ago.
So you're gonna get like a error message.
Right. Yeah, that's what you should get. If you don't enter all the fields, you should get an error message, and its system shouldn't let you create any user.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. So just a little bit more detail flush out based on our discussion, and yeah.
Okay.
That should be good. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else, any other folks, I mean, wrote anything? Because this is your core of the work, right? As a QA, you work through the requirements breakdown, create the test scenarios, write the detailed test cases. That's what you do. You spend maybe half a day on this type of activities, okay? There are other things certainly you do, but this is something that you will do day in and day out. If you wrote something, go ahead and share it. Yeah, Ramya, go ahead. If you have any question, go ahead and ask.
I have created a test case for the requirement 210. Dealer can search and view only their credit application.
The dealer or lender?
Lender.
Dealer can search and view only their credit application.
Yes, so that was the additional test scenarios that we gave you for the breakdown, right?
Oh yeah.
Those are additional requirements. That was for the scenario tree.
Okay, I have created the test case. If you want, I can share.
Hold on to that.
Okay.
Hold on to that before we jump on to additional requirements. Okay. Go ahead, Rasmita.
So I have done two other, like ability to search lender by lender name, and another one is lender can only access the credit application assigned to them.
Okay, so let's do the search one. Anybody else wants to share the search one before I ask Rasmita?
I think I have also done that one. Let her go, then I'll just. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Rasmita.
Okay, let me say. So I have done another one which I want to share. That one, lender can only access the credit application assigned to them.
Yeah, we will keep the good one for the last.
Okay.
Let's see what you came up with this.
Okay, I'm going to share this one. Yeah, this is the one.
Okay.
So here, the ability to search lender by lender name. The precondition is the dealer is already created the system, and dealer ID and password are specified in the data section.
Okay, so does the dealer has ability to search lender?
Yeah.
Is that specified in the requirement? Do they have access to do the lender search or lender module?
I did that kind of dealer is kind of search the.
Okay.
So can I go?
Yes, I'm just looking at the requirement here. Give me a second.
I think site administrator was search.
I think this is site administrator.
Right. So
Site
that's
administrator.
what. Right. So dealer does not have ability to search. So you need to make sure you pick the right credentials and right user.
Okay, instead of dealer, I can use site administrator.
That is correct. Yeah. That is correct.
Okay. So here's the site administrator. He is able to search lender name with its full name or partial name. So.
Okay, so this is a one scenario we said where partial name or full name doesn't really matter. Right. Okay.
Okay. So login as a site administrator, not dealer.
Okay.
And here, go to the credit application page.
Okay.
So the credit application.
Is that where you are searching the dealer? Because your context changed now, right? Because it looks like originally you were thinking, hey, dealer, during the credit application, they are able to search the lender and assign credit application, looks like. to that lender.
So,
Is it what you were thinking when you wrote this?
yeah,
those
in
steps?
that credit application page, there he can search the dealer name or somewhere, I think.
Right. So I think that is incorrect, right? There is no, because the credit application requirements, if you look at it, is there a search capability for lender specified anywhere in the credit application module?
And it's in fact for both, right? Not just for the dealer.
Right.
Or lender, both, right?
Okay. So, okay. So instead of this one, what should I write?
Anybody else wants to take a stab at it? What should be written here?
I just did like search by name, partial name. I think I did some like XYZ and something like that. Then
but again, if you, what are you searching on it?
Searching the lender's name.
Okay.
So where he is going to search the lender name, which page? On which page he is going to search the lender name?
Site administrator should log into the home page. First, he should the site administrator should log into the Arfloan page, and then his login account and
but from where once he logs in, where does it go? Let's say he logged in successfully and he's on the home page, but where would he go?
Home page. Yeah.
But do they have access to do the lender search right from the home page, or he goes somewhere else?
I thought there will be search button there or something. I don't. I mean,
okay.
What I did, let me check.
Right. So you need to access some way the search functionality, right? And I know maybe it's not specified in the design anywhere. I don't know whether you guys looked at the design documents or not. But if you don't see it, hey, that's a question, right? Where do you go, and how do you access the lender search, right? So that would be the question to ask and clarify. And I'm just checking it here, see if it's there anywhere, which I think it should be.
Yeah, I have written it like put in the search button and yeah, I have written like that. Should go log into site administrator.
So site admin, if you look at the page flow diagram, so site administrator logs in, goes to the home page, and from there it goes to the manage lenders, right? Manage lender, access manage lender functionality, where he can do the search or add new lenders or update new lenders and so forth.
Okay, so what we should write, sir? Then I have done that. Like the second step is site administrator should go log into the site administrator homepage. Then homepage will come, and then third should be like
access manage lenders functionality. That's where you will see the lender related things, right? That's what you are seeing. Now, if you don't have more detailed context, that's what you can write, and when more details are available, then you can specify the actual steps. Okay, I need to go to the lender module and click on search button from there, or something like that. Yep. But logically, you need to go somewhere else. I mean, homepage will not have, based on the initial design, you will not have that information.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You should go
But anyway, so that's the navigation part. I think I know you guys probably never seen the system, right? How it works and so forth. So this is kind of like a building the system from scratch. So it's hard to imagine sometimes, right? And you don't want to imagine too much. So that's where I completely understand. I think that's a struggle. Everybody has it. When you are building a brand new system, this is what really happens. There are a lot of design discussions happening. You are participating in there so that you get idea. Okay, this is how system is being built, and that's what is happening. So it is perfectly fine what you have for now. Okay.
Okay. Then I did that search by full name.
Okay.
So it comes list of lender names. So
Yeah,
like
so logically it is correct. Okay, what you have logically it is correct. And what we will do is we'll get you access to the system as well.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
I don't know whether anybody tried the URL or not.
No, we never.
Okay, it won't come up because it's the wrong URL that you have. So
Okay.
I'll send out an updated URL, and so that you can log in and play around with the system. While that will help you for your writing the steps as well. Okay, sometime you can.
We'll have a visual idea.
Yeah,
How it
for the
looks.
steps only.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because logically, what you are thinking, I think I can see a lot of people are on the right track here. Logically, you guys are thinking what you have. It's just the step details, which is a minor things. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I think this is good. So anybody else wants to share anything?
I have the same one with no data also. Just I wrote like no data.
So tell me what would change on your no data part, right?
Nah,
So you
I
have
just
pretty much
wrote
same steps.
Same
right?
step, only the error message, like you told last time, something like error message will come.
That's correct.
Yeah, that
is correct.
no data.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep. That's exactly. I mean, see, now you are getting the idea, right? I mean, it's the
Yeah.
repeatable steps, similar
Yeah.
things. I mean, you can copy paste technically certain
Yeah,
things.
the site administrator will
Um,
search the lender, the same thing, putting no
right.
data.
Yep. So logically, I mean, it's hopefully it makes sense now. Okay.
Thank you.
So let's talk about the one last one. That is the dealer or whatever the lender can see credit applications assigned to them.
Yeah.
So anybody wants to share?
So I have this one. If anyone, then I can share.
Yeah. Let's see who hasn't done. I mean, who hasn't shared anything, like to share, then go ahead and share. Yes, Nitin, go ahead. Go ahead, Nitin. I see your hand raised, so.
Yeah, so sorry. I was stuck somewhere. So I'm just sharing my screen.
Okay.
Because I already did before, I'd missed few steps.
Sure.
What you told me before.
Okay.
So
that's fine. Let's see what you have.
Yes, sir. So the precondition I just mentioned, minimum 2 dealer user ID and minimum 2 credit applications submitted to each dealer.
Okay, so you put that in a precondition. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay, so the first scenario is like dealer can search, and the test step is like login as a dealer user.
Okay. This is a different requirement, Nitin.
Oh, so sorry.
Yeah.
I think I
this is
missed.
a different requirement. We are talking about lender. Lender can see credit application assigned to them.
Can you tell me? I think I missed something.
So take a look at the homework requirement, right? The tree that we have talked about is in section 2.6.
So I'm going to share here.
Go ahead and stop sharing, Nitin.
Yep, I'm doing. So sorry.
You guys can see it, right? So we are talking about this requirement.
266 2.1.
Yeah. So these are your core 6 requirements, okay, for the homework. The additional requirements, yes, that is for you to work through additionally, and we will review as we come. But first, let's focus on these ones. Okay. Anybody like to share?
I also did, I can say, but I did the same mistake again. Like I created the credit application like number.
Okay. So
Rasmita
hang on,
can-
Rashmita. Let me see if anybody else wants to go as well. Okay. Nobody else. All right. Archana, I'm gonna share yours if because I think you sent me as well. So let me go ahead and share Archana's. Because
Okay.
I think she sent me in the email. So I'm gonna share quickly.
Okay.
I think this is the one. I have not reviewed it. I do not know, so I'm just opening it up now. And let's see what you have. Okay. So Archana, you there?
Yes.
Okay. So you want to talk about what you have?
I think I asked you, like, if I'm doing all of them or just one tree.
Okay.
So I did the one that says lender can see one credit application that is assigned to them.
So okay. So can all okay. So your test case here needs to reflect that, right? Lender can see credit application, one credit application that is assigned to them.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what you need to put that in here because there is only one credit application you have in the system assigned to the lender, and that's what they will see.
Right.
That's what you have. Okay. All right.
My steps are very short because I was not able to think like what should I put more.
Okay. Okay. Understand. Okay. So this is the login scenario and access list of application, and you are basically checking it over there. Okay.
Right.
Do you have precondition? So you did not put any application, right? Assign because you need to have those in the precondition. Otherwise,
okay.
If you are not creating those applications, right? So this is little bit incomplete, okay, from that standpoint. So hold on to this one, and we will come back to this, okay, for your test case. So anybody else wants to share? Rasmita, I think, yeah, go ahead. Yep, go ahead and share it.
Rasmita, are you doing it?
You can do it as well, Daisy. Let's take a look at it. Then we'll take a look at hers as well.
Okay. Can everybody see it?
Okay.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
So this is the tree diagram, and I did a lender can access every assigned application, and I did one application assigned.
Okay.
I did the same mistake here that I created the credit application number here. I should not do that.
Okay.
I will fix that.
Sure.
So lender exists in the system with the valid credential.
Okay.
Then I did, okay, this is the login part. Then navigate to view application tab and click on it. List of credit application will display. Then search for the credit application in the list. Then in the details will display on the screen. So in that detail, you will look for the lender L1, and over here, I assign the credit application to the lender L1.
Okay.
So now the lender name is lender is present in the application.
Okay. So if I'm a lender,
Yes.
with the lender L1, right? And when I log in, do I need to search for it? Specific application. So you are searching if they, you are assuming they have 50 applications and searching for 1, 2, 3 to see if they have it. That's
Yes,
what you are doing.
Yeah, I thought that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I see. Okay. Lender.
Please let me know if I am somewhere I'm wrong.
No, I think it's right now. I think not sure if you looked at all the lender requirements and see what they will see. Maybe it's not clearly laid out in the requirement, and you are thinking, okay, how do they access or that particular application, right? Or how do they find that application?
Yes.
Okay, which is perfectly okay, logically speaking. Okay, log out as lender and log out from the system. Now, this is a one credit application, right?
Yes.
So you don't have it in precondition, right? Or you are saying that it exists. Okay, so this one already exists. That's what you have in the precondition, right?
Yes.
Now, yeah, again, the precondition makes sense some places, but not all the places. Okay, for specifically for this type of things where things are changing dynamically, like credit application ID, you don't know what it will be, right? So if you put that in, unless you know how to create the credit application with ID 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
From the backend, maybe like using the SQL, you can do that. Okay, you can populate those tables in the backend. And then you have the precondition, which is perfectly fine. But here you don't know that, right? You don't have access to the database. So you need to put the proper steps. Who will create the credit application? Who will assign to what lender? So you need to that application needs to go to lender 1, right? L1 in your case. So some dealer has to assign some application, create it, and then assign it to this lender. So you need to add
I
those
have to
steps.
create. So first lender the dealer login, then create the application, then assign to the lender. Right?
Yep. That is correct.
Okay,
Dealer logs out.
Got it.
Dealer logs out, and then you have lender L1. Then your steps will start. Lender L1 log in with the valid credential, navigate to view application, and they will see, hey, 1, 2, 3 is there. Now, instead of hard coding, this is like a, because it's a dynamic thing, right? This 1, 2, 3 is system generated. So when the dealer creates it, you can put in the verification step, just note down the whatever number is generated for the application ID.
Got it.
And you can use that same ID for in the step 3 that you have.
Step 3. Okay. So I have to add like a dealer part over here, then dealer log out, then
dealer
lender
log out.
login.
Yep. That you are missing those steps. Okay. And precondition makes sense some places, but not all the places. And specifically for the dynamic changes or dynamically generated items, you don't want to use too much precondition. Otherwise, whoever is executing the test case, they will get confused. Where is the 1, 2, 3? How do I get 1, 2, 3? I don't see it. Should I fail it?
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So first I have to create it, then assign to the lender.
Yeah, in the test steps, right?
Right. So also think about the aspect of, remember one of the good test cases is repeatable and predictable. Does your test steps enable you to do that? When I say 1, 2, 3, that's not repeatable. That's not predictable. Right? Because once you create it with that ID, you can create another one.
With the same ID.
So I have to take this out.
Right.
Because I'm going to create it.
Yep.
I'm going to create that.
Precisely.
I have to put 3 steps here with the dealer. Dealer
right.
Create it, then assigned it, then comes this part.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Got it.
That's what is missing. Okay. I think whenever you see dynamic, apply that rule. Don't put the step in the precondition, put it in the steps, and just use the same ID, whatever is generated for the credit app in the later stage to verify. See if I'm able to see that whatever ID is there as a lender.
Perfect.
Does it make sense to everybody? Yeah. So I'm sure you will revise it because we're gonna work through a lot. So we're gonna spend the whole Saturday on the test cases. So writing it. But
We are going to pull our hair.
well, you will get more requirements and you will work in the class. So because we want to make sure you get this part right.
Yes.
But I think most of you are getting it. Okay. Most of you are getting there. Some things comes with the experience only. So that's what you will
Now I
get.
can say that from last Thursday to this Thursday, I am one step.
Yeah, it's a baby
ahead.
step. It's baby steps. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
It's baby
yeah.
steps.
Now think about it. The first day when we talked about the problem definition,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
How far you have made a progress. Now that you have a requirement, you're able to build a tree. You're able to understand how to write the test cases.
Exactly. Absolutely right.
And we want everybody to do the same. So we'll spend quite a bit of time on this one. Okay. So I think we are getting close. So, but let's talk about the next steps, Dilip. What we're
So
gonna
can
do.
I
Yeah.
share some?
Yes, go ahead.
And stop sharing right now.
Yes.
Yeah. And Archana, you have your hand raised also.
Yes, go ahead, Archana.
I wanted to ask, like, when we talk about the step to like add, like, for the dealer to create the application, so do we need to give them all the data to create the application, like name?
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
Yep. That's what it is. Yep.
Think about it, the statement that I made it. If you give this test case to somebody else who is sitting else in the class, can they create it without asking you a single question? And if they can, then you are ready with that test case to test it.
So if I have to rewrite this whole steps, then I have to provide all the details about the
Yes.
application.
The dealer creating the application, you need to walk that through, add those steps in your test case, and provide all the test data related to the credit app, because somebody needs. Otherwise, people will just enter random things, right? They will pick the random lender. You don't want that. You want to assign to specific lender.
It's not about hit and miss, right? So when you are executing it, you should be able to just follow the steps instead of saying, if I follow this step, is it going to work or not? And if the answer is I don't know, guess what? Your test case is not predictable or repeatable.
So I have to make up the name.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Yep.
That's the data, right? So we talked about as part of the test plan, right? You need to understand how you can utilize and create the data.
Okay.
Yeah, so credit application contains probably 50 fields, right? The primary credit applicant, I don't know whether any of you looked at it, the actual credit application that is part of your requirement, or the credit application data elements.
Yeah. So,
right.
So think about it, guys, right? If you're working at Amazon and you're tasked to test the ability for a user to order an item and get it shipped, right? If you just don't provide what item you're going to order it, do you think they will be able to do it successfully? And if not, in order to do that, what kind of information you need to put in the test case, right? You need specific product. You need to put specific payment method that you're going to use it. You need to put a specific shipping mode that they're going to use it before they can actually do that, right?
Yeah.
You can't expect it, hey, you go figure it out. It's a hit and miss, work or may not work. You can't do that.
Yeah, and if you are if it's a shipping, right? So instead of that, your test case says just order an item. Whoever is executing the test case, that guy goes and says, "Oh, I'm gonna do digital order." There is a shipment involved, right, in the whole process. So if he goes to that track, the whole test case is broken. I mean, testing scenario or workflow is testing completely wrong. So you need to be very specific on these details in all the steps.
Right. So now let's talk about Saturday. Okay.
Yes.
So I think you guys made a good progress, but you are not there yet. Right? Agree? Everybody?
Yes. Yeah.
So what you should do is take a time between now and Saturday morning. You understood what we discussed about it. Go ahead and fix and correct your test cases. Okay.
Yes.
So at least get 6 test cases that we ask you to write it, working to the point where you have taken the feedback from today's call and went into specific detail to write the test data, write the test steps, write the expected results, and brought it to a point where you can give it to somebody sitting next to you to run it. Okay. So that's one thing you definitely want to do it. There are trees that we talked about it, right? I'm hoping that all of you updated your tree, right? And you understand that what test cases are associated. In addition to fixing that 6 test cases and trees, I would like you to, if you've done a positive test scenario, I would like you to pick for one additional test case or requirement, pick a negative scenario. If you have picked a negative scenario, would like you to pick a positive scenario and write that test case also. So coming Saturday morning, you should be having 7 test cases which are ready to be tested. Okay. Everybody clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. And we'll still write some more test cases, remember, because the practice is what's going to give you more confidence. Practice is going to help you more. But we should be ready with 7 so that we can start doing some testing.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And I will send you guys a link to the site. Okay. So now you have at least some basic logical understanding. I think now you can refer to the actual steps that you are struggling with, and that will help you. But the first thing, can you write it logically, right? Because that's what it makes most sense without looking at the system. That's what you should need to be able to do. Okay. And then you actually go to the system and write the actual steps that you need to.
Okay.
Okay.
And Harshal, the video is going to, this recording is going to come email to us.
Yes,
right?
tomorrow. Yep, tomorrow. I'll send it out. Yep, that is correct. So any other question?
So I made this one, so I want to you check this one whether
Go
it
ahead.
is correct.
Okay. Yeah, we still got 5 more minutes. Let's see what you got.
So I choose kind of more than one assignment credit application, like last Thursday meeting asked about that. If there is more dealer and more dealer, if there has more credit applications.
Okay.
And
so I see that here you are logging in as a dealer, right? And then you are creating the credit application.
Yes.
Right.
So here I did little bit different. So
sure. Hang on to that number 4. Click login button created by dealer 1. Okay. Dealer. So number 5 is dealer. So once dealer logs in, he will create D1, create credit application C1 and assign to lender 1 and C2 and no lender assigned. Now, if you don't assign to any lender, is he going to be able to create any credit application? Because it is a mandatory, right? When you look at the credit application, so you won't be able to assign, you won't be able to create a credit application. So you need to assign to some lender. Okay.
So I'll erase this one.
Yeah.
Okay. So now the next one is then dealer 1 submitted the credit application where the lender 1 can see.
Well, okay. Lender 1 can get the application.
Yeah, can get the application. Yeah.
Okay, so dealer submitted a credit application. Which one? C1?
Yeah, C1 here. Yeah, C1.
Okay, so you are removing C2 because there is no lender
Mhm.
assigned, so nobody should get it
So
because
I'm
dealer
going to
cannot submit, right?
Okay, got it.
Right.
Then,
So lender one will get the credit application. Okay, so you are wording that way, which is fine.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm. Then dealer one log out, and dealer two is login using user ID and password from the data sector. Then dealer two created two applications,
Okay.
C3 and C4, and C3 is assigned to L1 and C4 is assigned to L2. So,
Okay. So L1 has how many? Two now, right? One from
yeah,
dealer
L1
one
has two.
and one from
Yeah.
dealer two, and
Yeah.
L2 has one application.
Only one C4.
C4.
So
Okay.
here it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
So now dealer two submitted these two applications.
Okay.
Okay. Now dealer two is logged out.
Okay.
Now lender one login.
Okay.
So here lender one can view two applications.
Right. Okay. So C1 and C3. Yep. That's what it is expected to see.
Yeah.
But and you are also checking that lender one cannot view application C2 and
Yeah,
C4, right?
I wrote here. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
that's your
here-
verification step because what they can see and what they cannot see. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Here lender one cannot see the C2 and C4.
Okay. Well, so step number 15, right? So it's kind of like you are repeating what you have in the 14 expected result, right?
Mhm.
Because lender
Mhm.
one can view those two, but cannot view other two.
Yeah,
right?
other two. Yeah.
Right. Verify lender one can view credit application C1 and C3. That's what you said.
Mhm.
If you go up lenders, what's the step 13? Okay, so you are logging in step 13. So make sure your steps are aligned because right now, but I see what you are trying to do here. Okay. So you just need to fix your steps because verification is expected result.
Okay, got it.
Whatever you're verifying, that should be in the expected result, not the steps.
Okay.
Okay. So once they log in and you verify two things, right? Lender one can view these applications and they cannot view other two.
Cannot view, yeah.
Right? Because they are not supposed to view that. That's what you are verifying. Right? Now you're logging in, logging out, logging in as a different lender, and they are able to view C4 but not other two.
Yes.
Right? So I think your test case is almost there. Okay. Logically, it sounds very close to, I would say, 90%. Okay.
Okay. So
90
here
to 95%.
Yeah, here the post condition I wrote, the credit application are assigned to lender by dealers. So is it fine?
Post condition here. So you are verifying that functionality works, right? The post condition is, yeah, there are additional credit applications created. And well, what you are testing, right? Remember your goal. Lender, so you probably want to stress on that because assigned to lenders, but what does it mean, right? So I would go back and reword that a little bit to see what is basically what applications are assigned to the lenders and so forth, right?
Okay.
Would not stress much on the post condition here. But
okay,
does everybody understand what she has here?
Yeah.
Yeah, these are the steps, right? This is what we were talking about earlier. You should be logging in as a dealer and create the credit applications and going through that. Now, C has a different scenario, but I think you guys probably got the idea now.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I think C has enough details, so C can repeat it, except for some rewording like a C1 and C2. Again, those can be replaced by the application IDs that are actually being created during the whenever dealer creates application, you capture the IDs, and C is verifying those IDs by the specific lenders when they log in. Okay.
So here, since it's the application is creating, we should give a number to that, or we can just go by D1, L1, and C1, C2 like that.
So you are given the lender, right? You can create your own lenders as well as part of your testing.
Okay.
Okay, so you said the lender L1 exists. What is your precondition here? Can you scroll up?
Yeah.
Lenders and dealer, right? So your precondition says, okay, already created in the system, but you can say that, okay, lender L1 and L2 are created and dealer D1 and D2 are exist in the system.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I should write L1 and L2 and D1, D2.
Yeah, those are the two ones you are using. Now, when you are
Yeah,
actually running the
understood.
test case, right? When you are actually executing the test case, when during the testing as part of your testing, and you don't see those dealers, you have to go and create it
Yes. Okay.
with dummy data.
Okay.
Now, if you don't have this in precondition, you will have to create the dealers first, and but again, that would be too much work. So you set
Yeah,
up the dealer accounts and lender accounts once, because you can reuse it across your test cases. So you don't need to create over and over again those dealers and lender accounts, login accounts.
Okay.
But credit applications, you cannot use reuse because the IDs are generated whenever there are new applications are created. So got it? Does it make sense what she has, I guess?
She did more than one application, I guess. Yeah.
Yes, her scenario is different, right?
Yeah.
So she is testing a different scenario and she has a little bit more detail because
Yes.
she needs to put more details around it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, great. So all right. So as we discussed, I think we'll continue working on this one on Saturday, and then Sunday we'll pick up a new thing. Okay. So spend your time on test cases now to Saturday and before Sunday. And maybe in a week after that, we'll spend a little bit time on that for next Thursday as well. But then there are new topics that's coming up. So, yep.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good. Then we'll wrap up here today.
Yeah. Have a good night, everybody.
All right.
Bye, Dilip.
Okay.
Thank you, Harsha.
Good night.
Good night.
See you on Saturday morning.
Yep.
Sure.
All right. See you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.